Kwesi Chum came to my house. I wasn't there, and I think he left a message that if I could meet him at Laboni coffee shop. I didn't know who he was, so it's like, who am I going to look for? But he was very much on time, and he pointed me out, So we met at coffee shop and said, oh, he wanted us to meet in Colonel Dan Chum's house, I think about a week or so. So I agreed. But prior to that, I was told in GVC rumors that there was going to be a private radio station. Skepticism fell into my mind because I never thought, with the advent of GVC and what was currently going on in the country, that we'll be allowed to start private radio. But hitherto, it happened, we met, and that was basically how Kwesi and I met. And so I would say that was the very beginning of the beginning of Joy FM.
What did you think of him when you first met him?
He was he is such a very cool, calm, collected person. I'll be very honest, I don't think I've ever seen Kwesi get angry, as in flare up or anything like that. He's always maintained a very calm way of speaking. Even if you flare up, it doesn't really have an effect on him. So, very unassuming, good sense of humor, gentleman.
So you agreed to become a member of the team, and it all kicked off. But this was an experiment. It hadn't been done before, private radio, commercial radio. It can't have been easy, feeling your way through to create something out of nothing.
Well, life itself is a risk. You could walk down the road, 10 seconds, you drop dead. Everything is a risk. But then working with GBC, you knew at the time that you had your foot on the ground. You were covered, by way of this and that and that. GBC would hardly fire anybody for the slightest mishap or whatever it is. So you were protected, kind of. But then, having gone through the thought process of, wow, private radio in Ghana, is it going to work? People were very skeptical. Is it going to work? How long is it going to be in existence? Am I going to lose my job? All these things went through my mind. But I said to myself, there are two things that I'm looking at. Either I stay in the street jacket kind of thing, or take the risk, go outside, start something. But I had the conviction that it was going to work because this was the first private, commercial radio station. So obviously, the support base was going to be huge. I took the risk, and voila! I can't fathom the fact that 25 years already. Wow, great. I took the risk, but it was worth it.
Oh, I'm sure Ghana thanks you for taking that risk.
Amen.
Now, when it all began, the team, that original team, were behind a lot of what we enjoy on radio today, the programming, the designs of the shows, even the names of the shows that we listen to. Many of them were created by you and the rest of the team. Tell us about that process.
Excuse me. We were virtually lost, but we were determined to at least start with something. So Kwesi, the late Dusty Wayne, and myself met in my living room. 3 huge bowls of fufu that would set us, starting the discussion. Of course, with pens and paper. So whilst we were, chopping, we were coming up with ideas and stuff like that. So everything was done in the sitting room, but we had a battle trying to start up the morning. We came up with the morning show, the Joy morning show, AM on Joy FM, which was a little bit of confusion because we know AM is like morning.
Yeah.
But then eventually we settled for the Super Morning Show. Then Kwesi looked at Accra itself being a cosmopolitan area, and so we settled in for the cosmopolitan mix. And then I adapted lunchtime rhythms from a program I was doing on GBC, switched the name. And then we're looking at block programming, 3 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours. And then drive time, realized that people were going to go home at a particular time, which was illegal anyway, because you're not supposed to go home at before 5 anyway. But anyway, we came up with all the programs. In between that, we had an hour to spare, and so we came up with the DJ's Choice. That's where Azigiza Jr. came in. Yeah. Said, okay, it's your 1 hour. You choose whatever music you want, entertain the people. And so that's how we got the entire programming for Joy FM. It was an amazing, I mean, we were there for I don't know how many hours, you know, and so we kept that until we started the test transmission.
Now, you've mentioned Dusty Wayne, you've mentioned DJ Azigiza, of course, Cosmopolitan Mix, it became Doreen Ando's baby. Who else was on that original team?
There was Marco Kreku Mante, there was Cox Tamaklo, there was this gentleman, he's now on Peace FM, Joe Diggy, Jody Graft Akins. Honestly, 25 years is a long time to be able to remember, but we had a fantastic team, you know, a team that was inseparable. And I don't know how it came about, because everybody was attached to one another. You know, we hardly had fights. We had arguments or differences, but the team was such a formidable team. You couldn't break it, you know, no matter what you did. And so I guess that was, if I should say, the boiling point of Joy FM starting, you know, because the thing of it was we needed to compete amongst one another. Oh, no. But I would not come and say, oh, Kojo, yesterday's show, I did it better than you did, so let's see what you can do. That would be a little intimidating. But the competition was such that anytime we did a post-mortem, the agrees and don't agrees set it in place for the next morning's program, you know. So in each other's mind is like, this guy or this lady did a good show, let me see if I can do better. And so the honors, you know, lay on us to climb a step every single day, And for me, as the first presenter on the air, I've always had this notion of, if I sound this way today, how am I going to sound tomorrow, the next day? Because if you're doing a super morning show Monday to Friday, it's extremely difficult, because on Monday you got to sound different, Tuesday you got to sound different, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. No matter what problems you had, you leave them outside Joy FM. Go do your program, you finish, then you can pick up your problems, okay? So your introduction to every super morning show had to be different so that you would not sound repetitive or predictable. That was my style. And so everybody else picked it up. You couldn't tell who was going to do what or say what on the air, and that was the interesting part. And so you will keep people, hey, today what's he going to sound like? What's Doreen going to sound like? How's Mark going to sound like? You know, the jokes, the humor amongst all of us. You know, newspaper review, somebody fires a shot. We take the mickey out of the person, you know, on air in such a way that if you're not careful, you would crash your car from laughter.
So Tommy and enforcing their Uncle Tommy, reliving those days. Now, he is actually hosting the Super Morning Show on Joy FM right now. So we'll take you there live to the studio of Joy 99.7 FM. That's him there. Hosting the Super Morning Show. Let's hear what they're doing.
He has a lot of memories. So started with test transmission, chopping second in a Milo competition with our late brother Komla Dumont, winning a Valentine lunch from Doreen Andor, being interviewed by Samens to be a rover reporter, selecting tracks in the studio with Tommy and Forsen on jazz on Joy, participating in home affairs.
I never did jazz on Joy. Oh, sure.
Numerous participation in old school reunions at Trade Fair, being part of the Roverman family by listening to the SMS, glad knowing DJ Black, DJ Azigiza Jr., Kwesi Sapon, Fifi Kumsin, Anio Sabote, Stephen Anti on Joy News Channel, etc. He said, even my radio knob got rusty because it was never tuned from 99.7. That's William Ngomwa. Hooray! My favorite radio station is 25 years today. Congratulations and many thanks to everyone who has made this possible, from those who started to those who have continued up to this 25-year mark. milestone. That's from Papa Tieku in Koforidua. Now, Hilda says, how you sign off.
I love you all, especially
you. It makes you feel special.
You know, when you talked about Azigiza, you know what comes to mind?
What?
I think it was one of these World Cup things, and he was doing a DJ special, a DJ's selection on Joy, and Portugal scored 1, so we had to go and give him the result. Be a mic now. See, the Portuguese have scored. Portuguese pa. Azigiza regretted that day ever since, saying the Portuguese have won. Portuguese bar. Anyway, it's one of the things. He was loading his mother. Please continue.
Okay. Happy birthday, Joy FM. Don Mickey from Adringano says it would have been so nice to hear Komla Dumo's voice this morning. And of course, we cannot remember
Excuse me?
our achievements.
He said whose voice this morning?
Komla Dumo.
This morning.
Yeah, he's saying it would have.
How's all fun? Uncle Tommy there, Tommy and I'm Forcing, and back in the day.